Hello, Cortland Starrett here, and today I want to demonstrate importing a WASL model into BridgePoint from a WASL model from the SWATS test suite. We will edit and lay out the graphics for the model. We'll create a WASL exporter and export WASL from it. I'm also experimenting with OBS Studio as I try to learn to make production videos. So we will launch BridgePoint and create a workspace. I've got a workspace called SWATS. And then as BridgePoint loads up, the first thing that we will do is create a new xtUML project. And we'll name that xtUML project domain B because that is the name of the model that I want to import from the SWATS test suite. Then I'll right-click on that new empty xtUML project and import into it the contents of the converted xtUML model. This model came from a MASL version of a MASL dump from iUML, which now lives in the SWATS test case folders in the xtUML models repository. So I select the domain b.xtml file and it imports, and all that conversion to xtML occurred while you saw it loading there. And then we can navigate into the folder structure in Model Explorer and see all the classes, all the functions. And now I'm going to set the model compiler to be the WASL exporter. And once I've done that, I can right-click on the project and build it, and it will generate WASL. So we'll look at the console. We see that there's some console messages. I'll switch to a resource perspective so that I can navigate into the folders, and let's look for some of the generated WASL. There it all is. And I'll use a text editor to open the domain dump file and see all of the generated WASL in that one file, and all of those other files are full of WASL as well. Now, one thing when importing a BridgePoint model, BridgePoint does not know how to lay the graphics out the way that it used to be in iUML. That information is not carried forward, so we have to manually tease things apart a little bit. And BridgePoint is smart enough to make sure that it does not overlay elements on top of one another, so it doesn't take too long to tease them apart. And especially if you've got a printout from the way that the model looked before it was dumped out of iUML, this won't take long at all. So I'm just sliding some classes around. We've got a subtype, supertype hierarchy there, some other classes that aren't linked. And then here is an associative relationship or ternary association. And so we'll move those into a position where we can then move that dotted association line so that it lines up somewhat in the middle. We'll pretty it up just a little bit before we go look at a state machine. Now, this particular object has a state machine. It's got 3 states, so we'll just stretch it out a little bit. We can see the states and the transitions between there. This automatic routing, or the routing that we have for connectors, is called oblique routing, which just allows you to have diagonal lines. There's another type of routing called rectilinear routing. It's in the preferences. I prefer, when I'm pulling things apart for the first time, to use this oblique routing. Well, let's go look at the action language. So in the middle state there, it's got a state activity with ASL dialect action language inside, all syntax highlighted, and when you're editing, you actually get automatic indent as well. So I hope you found this useful, and now there's 18 WASL test models in the SWATS test suite, and you can go import those and test it out for yourself. Thank you for watching.